What's going on, everybody? It's Bogo Sports here. I'm coming to you guys with my Week 4 NFL awards, winners, losers, and more. And we're actually going to do something new this week. I'm going to go over my picks from last week at the beginning, and then we'll get into the stuff. This is a good way for me to actually reflect on my picks instead of making them and get my thoughts on how they went. So starting things off, we'll go with the picks. So heading into last week, I was 18-12 after Week 3. If you guys haven't been following along, I missed Week 1 and I missed Thursday night of Week 2, and I accidentally skipped over a game, the Falcons-Packers in Week 2. So I'm going to stop saying that every time at some point, but just so those who know don't get confused why the record doesn't count all the games this season. So we were 18-12 heading into it. I made the Lions-Packers pick, so now I'm 19-12. And then I made the video with the rest of the picks. So first one, Jags-Falcons. That one was pretty standard. Jags got the job done. Dolphins-Bills. That was my game of the week. And I swear to you, on Sunday morning, I'm sitting there eating my breakfast thinking to myself, I really want to switch this pick, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. That was wrong. So that was my first wrong pick. Broncos-Bears, I thought it was wrong for a second, but the Bears collapsed. Ravens-Browns, smooth sailing with Watson out, and I made this pick before I even knew Watson was out. I found out on Sunday morning, so thankfully it was much easier of a pick than I thought it would be. Bengals-Titans, I was off on that. Bengals, you'll see later in the video, they're starting to worry me a little bit, but not totally. Rams-Colts, Rams got the job done, looking good. Bucs-Saints, I think I picked this assuming Carr would be healthy. I did because I looked it up, but it didn't seem like the real Saints. But the Bucs looking good right now. Eagles sneaked it out versus Washington. Vikings got the job done, so I was good on all those picks. So I've only had 2 wrong so far: the Bills, Dolphins game, then the Bengals Titans. This one was probably my worst loss of the week. Steelers, I had beating the Texans, and it was the complete opposite of that. It was a beatdown. Steelers got embarrassed 30-6. And my Steelers division pick and record of 13-4 is not looking great, but it's still alive. If they win this week versus the Ravens, I think they lead the division. So it's not over, but it doesn't look good. Chargers, I had over the Raiders. And then my upset of the week, Patriots-Cowboys, was just a terrible pick. The Patriots lost 38-3 and got embarrassed. Then the rest of the picks, I was good. I had 49ers over Cardinals, Chiefs over Jets, and then Seahawks over Giants Monday Night Football. So after this week, did I tally it up? Please tell me I tallied it up. Okay, I didn't tally it up. Let me find out real quick what my record is. Sorry, we're going to do this on the fly because I'm pretty annoyed about that. Well, I went 12-4 this week, and I was 18-12 before. So if I can do math correctly, it is 30 and I went 12-4 and I was 18-12, 30-16. Yes, 30-16. Okay. Apologies for that. That was you almost saw me collapse there and not be able to do math, but we got it done. So 30-16 is the record. I want to make sure, is that right? Yes, it is. Okay, 30-16 is the record. Not bad, but I want to get to 80%. That's the goal. At least 75%. So I'm going to just write that down. 30-16 is my record. Okay. Now we'll get into the standard weekly NFL recap stuff. So we're going to start with the weekly awards. And Offensive Player of the Week, I have Christian McCaffrey. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 1 receiving. This dude has been an absolute stud all year, and you'll see later he appears on another list as we'll get further into the video. So CMC was the Offensive Player of the Week, but there were a lot of big offensive performances all around. You could even throw a guy like Josh Allen in there, but he'll get his time. Defensive Player of the Week, Khalil Mack. Dude had 6 sacks. I mean, that's absolutely insane. There's no contest there. 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Unreal. He instantly tied. He had no sacks before this game, and now he's tied for the lead. That's a crazy performance. Offensive Rookie of the Week. I thought about giving this to Stroud for a second, but I'm going to give this to Puka Nacua. The guy's doing historic things for a rookie, especially being a 5th-round rookie. I have honorable mentions of Stroud and Bijan, who both had good weeks. As you can see, a theme's kind of happening here. Every single week, the same 3 guys are there. But Nacua is going to be my Offensive Rookie of the Week. And then Defensive Rookie of the Week is Devon Witherspoon. He had 2 sacks as a cornerback. I think the Seahawks had 11 sacks on Monday Night Football, and he had a 97-yard pick 6. So he showed out, and now he's already on PFF's list as one of the best rookies after really one elite performance. So great job from him there. So we'll run through that real quick. Offensive Player of the Week, CMC. Defensive Player of the Week, Khalil Mack. Offensive Rookie of the Week, Nacua. And Defensive Rookie of the Week, Witherspoon. All right, moving on to the yearly awards check-ins. If you guys haven't seen this before, this is me saying, hey, if the NFL season stopped today, who would be the picks for the awards, for the league awards? So we'll start with MVP. Full disclosure, I've had 2 of the last 3 weeks. I have Josh Allen now. They faced off head-to-head. And at this point, I don't think you can have Tua anymore. Allen has been stellar since week 1, where he had 5 turnovers, and everybody was crucifying him and the Bills and basically burying them. Well, ever since then, Allen has had 10 touchdowns total, 1 interception, no fumbles. So a 10-1 touchdown turnover ratio is pretty good, and they've put up 38, 37, and 48 points the last 3 weeks. He's playing like an MVP, like we all expected him to. So he's my MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, I've had Tyreek, I think, every single week. Well, now I have Christian McCaffrey. And McCaffrey's been like the tie. I think I may have had a co-Offensive Player of the Year, or he was always an honorable mention. So CMC cemented himself, as Tyreek didn't have a huge week, and CMC had a monster week, as I already said. Defensive Player of the Year, this one's kind of up in the air. In my head, it's been Watt, Parsons, and Garrett all year. And I think I had Watt last week. I can actually just check real quick and tell you if I had Watt last week. I did have Watt last week, but I had Micah and Garrett as the honorable mentions again. It's going to stay the same for me. Watt, he has less pressures than Parsons, but he has more sacks, and the same can be said with Garrett. Parsons is tied for the league lead in pressures, but he and Garrett are behind Watt in sacks, and Watt's not far behind in pressures. I think he's only like 4 behind Parsons and then maybe 2 or 3 behind Garrett. So I'm going to give it to Watt for now, but this award is still very much up in the air. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I have to give this one a co-award here. I can't really pick one or the other. Nacua has been tremendous, and like I said, he's putting up great numbers. I think he already has over 500 receiving yards. This guy's going to, even with Cooper Kupp coming back, he's going to have over 1,000 yards this year as a rookie. Super impressive. But I can't, screw Stroud out of the award. Excuse me, I was getting stuck up in my words there, but I can't not include Stroud with this award. Dude has been stellar so far this season. They're 2-2, and he's not turning the ball over, throwing for a bunch of yards on a bunch of pass attempts. So we got a co-offensive Rookie of the Year. And then defensive Rookie of the Year is Jalen Carter, who's already an elite defensive lineman, and he's that's league-wide, not just rookies. So I got him as my defensive Rookie of the Year. He's not gonna have he's not gonna have as much competition with Christian Gonzalez going out for the year, which is unfortunate, especially for the Patriots fans. But those are my awards. I'll run through them really quickly. Allen, MVP. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I have a tie right now between Stroud and Nacua. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jalen Carter. All right, we'll get into winners and losers. I do 5 winners and 5 losers each week. We'll start with the winners, Lions. They looked great on Thursday Night Football. They dominated in the first half and pretty much just let up in the second half and didn't really have to take it too seriously. Offense looked great, and defense stifled the Packers in the first half. Bills, there's not much explanation needed here. Dolphins were the talk of the town for the first 3 weeks of the season, and deservedly so. They scored 70 points the week before, and they looked like the best team in the NFL. And the Bills put it on them. Beat them 48-20. Allen, flawless, 320 yards, 5 touchdowns. Big winner. Bucks, I have as a winner. Head-to-head matchup, both teams 2-2, same division. Or both teams 2-1, excuse me. Same division. And though Carr was injured, so I do take it with a slight grain of salt, the Bucks have at least shown that they're going to be a legitimate threat in the AFC South this year. You could have maybe made the argument after the first couple of weeks that they weren't that legit and they just had a hot start, but they definitely look like they're going to be a threat in that division. So the Saints are going to have to pick it up. Jets I have as a winner. Now they lost to the Chiefs, but Zach Wilson looked like an NFL quarterback, and I really feel like the Jets got screwed out of that game. The ref threw, I really thought, okay, so first there was a holding call that I thought you could have called, but he was kind of close to grabbing inside the pad, so whatever. But then the time after that, Mahomes threw a pick, and then after the interception was made, the referee threw a pass interference flag. It's just really weird. The whole Taylor Swift stuff. It's almost like, what is the NFL doing here? Are they trying to keep them up? I don't know. But regardless, the Jets looked good. If Zach Wilson plays like that, like Saleh said, they're going to win a bunch of games, or at least win more games than they would have before this week. And then last winner is the Cowboys. They kind of showed that the Cardinals' loss was a fluke. Not that the Cardinals didn't play well. I think the Cardinals lost this week, but they gave a good accounting of themselves. But the Cowboys showed that week they did not perform to their best, and they went out and whooped the Patriots. Those are my 5 winners: Lions, Bills, Bucks, Jets, Cowboys. Okay, losers, Bengals. They look terrible right now. I don't know what's going on with Burrow. Is he just hurt, or what's going on? He's definitely not playing up to par. The injury has to be a huge factor of it. But if he's this bad when he's injured, then maybe replace him. Get somebody else in there, because this is an embarrassment. They got destroyed by the Titans, who haven't been world beaters so far this year. Bengals, big loser. They're 1-3 now. I think they started the year 2-4, or they started last year 2-4. So we're not writing an obituary for them yet, but they have got to get going. And their schedule's not an easy one, if I remember correctly. Steelers, big loser. Now, I said earlier, it's not over for them. If they win this week, all of a sudden they lead the division because it's a mess, the NFC North or the AFC North. But offensively, they don't look good. Kenny Pickett got hurt. Defensively, they just let the Texans score 30 points on them. It's just a mess. So Steelers are going to have to get on track, and like Mike Tomlin said, changes are going to be coming. Pats looked absolutely horrible. Mac Jones, I've kind of been defending him so far this year. He did not play well. It was just an all-around horrible performance. Most points scored as under Bill Belichick as head coach, so that's never good. Giants are a big loser. They just look terrible, and they were a team I picked to go 11-6 and make the playoffs this year. I think that might be my worst pick so far. Daniel Jones, I was a big anti-Jones guy for years, and then last year he kind of bamboozled me and made me believe, okay, this guy actually has taken steps. He has a good coach finally. He has Saquon back. Now, Saquon being out does affect him, but it looks like he just robbed the Giants of $40 million. So Daniel Jones and the Giants are big losers as they lost 24-3 in a pitiful performance on Monday night. And the last loser, I kind of toggled back and forth in my head on this one between the Panthers and one other team. I want to just throw it out there. Panthers and, Falcons, because they did not have a good performance against the Jaguars. But I ended up going with the Panthers just because they have looked so terrible this year. I honestly think they'd be better served to start Andy Dalton because Bryce Young looks completely overmatched. He doesn't have a lot of weapons offensively. They don't have a great line. But regardless of all that, he's looked like the worst of the rookie quarterbacks so far. Stroud is extremely impressive so far, and as has Anthony Richardson been when he's on the field. So Panthers are losers because they just look terrible again. Those are my 5 losers: Bengals, Steelers, Pats, Giants, and Panthers. Storyline of the week, this is how we wrap it up. You could say maybe I could put this at the beginning, but we'll just wrap with this, and this is a pretty easy one. My storyline is Bills are back, or did they never leave? I don't think they ever left. I think it was kind of a, hey, let's calm down moment when everybody was overreacting and burying them week 1, saying Allen is all this and all that, and their roster's not that great. But there was certainly some, I felt that some of that too. Is like, okay, they got to pick it up. Allen has got to not turn the ball over like that. But regardless, the Bills are back in a huge way. They just cemented themselves right back into the best team in the AFC conversation as they whooped up on the Dolphins. So there you go. That is my Week 4 recap. Glad I got to talk about my Week 4 picks and how they went. So 30-16, that's not bad for an overall record. Like I said, I want to get to 75-80%. So there's the video. I'm going to be coming out with my Thursday Night Football, which is kind of a gross game. It's Washington versus the terrible Chicago Bears. But I'll come out with that prediction tomorrow, and then you can expect to see some more stuff later in the weekend as far as my picks for Week 5 for the Sunday and Monday games. And yeah, there you go. And on a side note, D-backs advance. We just swept the Brewers. Go D-backs. I'll see you guys soon.